Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more things to discuss that's currently going on in the boxing world. We're gonna be talking about the WBO exposing Keyshawn Davis. We're going to talk about Bill Haney and his latest interview with Andre Ward, calling Shakur Stevenson easy work. And we're also going to be speaking about Eddie Hearn absolutely frying Dana White. But before we could get into all of that, y'all can please hit the like button on the way in. That'd be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,300 mark. About to crack that 3,400 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. I already see a few comments in the building thus far, man. Shout out to everybody that's contributing early. My boy Lorenzo and the motherfucking Benzo showing love from out Tokyo. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother always coming through and supporting. As always, that's a day one brother right there. Salute. My boy Dangerous Desires. Bullies, what up? What's going on? How we feeling tonight? What's on y'all mind, man? Let me know what it is. Who else? Boxer. I'm gonna just call you Boxer. Shout out Boxer, man. What's going on? Chris Maldonado, my high school brother. What up? What's going on? Boxer coming through. He said her Hiroka and Russell back on. Yeah, I seen that he was able to get that visa situated, but we got to take into consideration, man. What they say he was flying. They said he was flying out today. He probably still flying. I don't know if he's landed in Vegas. I don't know what the case is, but he has very little time to acclimate to the time zone. So we're going to see exactly how that works out. That may be a bit of an uphill battle for Hiroka to go up against, especially when you're going up against somebody dangerous like Antoine Russell. But we'll see. I'm just glad that the fight wasn't canceled. You know what I mean? A lot of money on the line, a big opportunity on the line. You don't want to miss out on that because you ain't have your visa together. You feel what I'm saying? But we got a great fight coming this Saturday. Speaking of the fights that's going on Saturday, man, be on the lookout for my live. We're going to be doing some live fight commentary with me and hopefully a few of my guys, man. I hope I'm not by myself in this situation, but we're going to be in the studio watching the fights. You know what I mean? Everybody had a lot of positive things to say about the studio. Come tune in and watch me commentate and give you my live fight reaction Saturday night, man. Be on the lookout. It's going to be on. It's going to be lit. It's going to be popping. Absolutely. Bullies, what's going on? He said, I see Haney fans ain't bringing up that Devin has a petition to bodies either for Xander. Don't the fights got to get agreed first? I don't know if the fights necessarily need to get agreed first. I'm pretty sure Xander could petition. Devin Haney could petition the WBO to, become the number one guy to face Xander Zayas for his title or whatever the case is. But I don't know if that involves vacating his WBO welterweight title in order to do so. I don't know. Them sanctioning bodies are very tricky. But we definitely gonna speak about it. And just because Xander hasn't done it, just because Devin hasn't did it with Xander doesn't mean that we don't have to address, Keyshawn Davis not doing it. You feel what I'm saying? We could talk about one subject at a time, brother. So, you know what I mean? That sounds like a deflection tactic, to be honest with you. You're trying to make this about, Devin Haney being in the wrong when it's really about Keyshawn in this particular topic. But J-Day in the building, he said Franchise Cruz is popping her shit on Nightcap. I'm ready for Sunday. Listen, she's a confident woman who actually believes in her abilities. You see what I'm saying? So do I think she's going to beat Clarissa Shields? No, not at all. I just don't see that happen. I just don't think she's on the skills. I don't think she's just skilled enough to have what it takes to defeat Clarissa. That's just me. I think there's very little competition for Clarissa Shields at this point in time. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see. Franchise, she rose to the occasion when she fought Shadesha Green. So let's see. There's a rematch clause too. Wow. That's good to know. We'll see on Sunday. I'm looking forward to seeing what Atifo Burlton does. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not really too big on that fight. Like, I don't really care too much for Cruz Dezern and Clarissa Shields. May the best woman win at the end of the day. It's a great quality fight, but I don't really care for that too much. I just don't see what DAZN does to defeat Clarissa Shields. I don't, and they already fought before, so it's like I don't know if DAZN could do anything else that'll really throw off Clarissa's game. Like I don't see it, man. I really don't. But I am looking forward to Tifo Burlton's fight against Joseph George. I think that's a great fight, and I love the fact that Tifo Burlton is getting that opportunity to be a co-main event on the big card out in Detroit. And Sada Baby gonna be walking him out. Now, a lot of people like, oh, so what? Sada Baby, bro. I came up in the gym with Atif when for his first 8 professional fights. He blasted Sada Baby regularly, like regularly. So to really be like loving this dude's music and climbing up the boxing ranks, and now you got that same dude that you've been listening to for years walking you out. That's a dope fucking experience, man. That's like the equivalent of me. Like if I were a boxer, if I was boxing professionally, from a hypothetical standpoint, and I've been blasting J. Cole since I was 13 years old. For him to walk me out for a fight, that's humbling. You know what I'm saying? Like that's fire. And what I really want to see our team get, in all honesty, is have Max B walk him out. You know what I'm saying? Because he put me on the Max B for real, and we'll talk about it. But whenever I get our teeth on on the show and stuff like that. But those are guys that he really blasted heavy. So it's just dope to see him. He been fucking with the Detroit wave, with the rap and shit. So it's dope to see him, get that opportunity. Boosie always walking out Shields. Well, you already know who's gonna walk her out this time. Papoose. But it is what it is. But anyways, man, let's get into these topics. You feel what I'm saying? Let's definitely get into these topics. Shout out to Justin Jackson. Shout out to Jay Cash. You feel what I'm saying? We definitely in the building. Shout out to the 16 people that's in the building, of course. Y'all go ahead and hit the like button. We're gonna be speaking about exactly what's going on with Keyshawn Davis, exactly what his next plans are, and why this all just contributes to what I've been saying about Keyshawn Davis initially, and that's that he has pretty much some mixed signals in terms of like wanting the Devin Haney fight at one point, and then making it. He makes it seem like it's his first option, and then other times he act like there's other things that he could do, and it's just a lot of mixed signals, a lot of inconsistency on Keyshawn's part. And somebody had asked Gustavo Oliveira, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and that's the president of the WBO, on Twitter. They had asked him a pretty valid question. So shout out to whoever asked this question. And the question goes as follows. Question, Mr. President, would your ex-lightweight champion, aka Mr. Keyshawn Davis, have to pay the fee for you to sanction a fight with your welterweight champion, Mr. Haney? Gustavo follows up and answers that question. And shout out to him for being transparent. He says, hello, sir. Mr. Davis is currently installed at junior welterweight and therefore unrated at welterweight. Consequently, he cannot fight Haney until a formal ratings request is submitted, considered, and granted. Further, bear in mind that there are other fighters rated at 147 before Mr. Davis. Regards. So it looks like if Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney were to happen, it seems like there's going to be multiple steps that need to be, how can I say this? God damn, yo, my words been fucked up lately. There's a lot of steps that need to be covered before we get to that, the finalization of the fight being made, at least through the WBO route. And he's saying, for one, Keyshawn Davis needs to go out of his way to do a formal ratings request. You know what I'm saying? Then it has to be considered. So they have to approve that ratings request. So what Keyshawn has to do is he has to, send out something to the WBO saying like, yo, I'm moving up to welterweight, considering that I was a champion at lightweight for the WBO. Is there any way that I could be ranked number one for Devin Haney's WBO title at welterweight? That's something that needs to be done and considered. This is something that they have to acknowledge and, more importantly, granted. Moving on. You have to keep in the consideration that they're not going to put Keyshawn at, well, from what he's saying, there are going to be people that's going to be ahead of Keyshawn regardless. Even if he does do that, there's going to be people that's going to be ahead of him on the rankings. So shout out to Gustavo for that response right there. I do agree. Like, there's no way that you're a champion at lightweight. You miss weight and pretty much lose the belt at lightweight. You fight one fight at 140 and think you're just gonna go up to 147 and become the number one guy for the title. You're out your rabbit ass mind. And shout out to Gustavo for acknowledging the other fighters that are rated at 147 pounds before Keyshawn Davis. You know what I'm saying? Because nowadays, especially if you ask WBC, you could be out of a division for multiple years, and before even getting a fight down there, they could rank you number one. WBC, Conor Benn. And then when you ask the WBC why, aka Mauricio Suleiman, they're like, "Oh, we can't act like Conor Benn doesn't have skills." Like, so does the other 15 people that's on the fucking rankings, you idiot. That's why they there. But regardless, this just let me know based off of this tweet right here that Keyshawn Davis hasn't necessarily took the steps necessary to really enforce that fight against Devin Haney. And I'm not necessarily surprised by this because when he does interviews, he says that he's pulling up to Devin Haney's house and stuff like that. You pulled up to Craig and Smokey's house, bro. From the movie. You didn't actually pull up to Devin's house. So that's a bit misleading. But then you're saying that you're talking to Eddie Hearn and possibly getting a Lewis Crocker fight. And to be real, I feel like you're only moving up to 47 for real, because you only had one fight at 140, so it don't really make sense for you to move up. The only reason you're doing that is to try to keep yourself away from your big bro. That's just how I feel. You see what I'm saying? I don't think he wants to replicate a situation where he's possibly a champion in the same division as his big bro because fans are going to demand it and they don't want to do it. You see what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why I feel like he's going up there. But you could tell that based off of his actions and what he's been doing, that Devin Haney is not necessarily the number one priority, regardless of what he says, because he hasn't taken the steps necessary to prove that. You see what I mean? And Dangerous Desire Bullies came out and said that it's funny that Devin Haney hasn't done that with Xander Zayas. Bro, Devin Haney is currently a champion at 147 pounds. That's the difference. Keyshawn Davis isn't a champion in the division right now. Also, Devin Haney's putting that out there as an option. And you see what I'm saying? Keyshawn, he may run into another option. He may possibly stick around at 47, see what's going on. Why would he petition the WBO at 154 pounds when it looks like Xander Zayas is going to lock in a fight with Josh Kelly? Well, he's supposed to just sit around and wait. And who's to say he's going to be able to keep his WBO title once he puts that petition in for the WBO to go at 154? If you want to rank in at 154 in the WBO, you probably can't be a champion at 147 pounds for the WBO. I don't know. I gotta look at the rules. I'm not sure, but let me actually look that up. Let me look at this rulings, man. Mm. So unless if Devin Haney becomes a WBO super champion or whatever the fuck that is, if he becomes a WBO super champion, they'll give you immediate eligibility for a title shot and protect your ranking if you return back to the weight class that you're a champion in. But it says the WBO generally does not like champions holding up divisions, may force you to vacate the lower belt, or give a short window to decide. Holding two WBO world titles simultaneously is extremely rare and usually temporary. Damn. Damn. Okay. So I guess that's a bit, these sanctioning bodies, they set up their rules where it's like, they could bend them quite easily and things of that nature. So we'll see. I think Devin Haney's just looking, waiting, spectating, seeing exactly what his next best move is going to be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something to open up at 47 where he may possibly get an opportunity there. Maybe somebody at 140 will go up to, face him. Like, who knows? We don't really know. I don't know. But Keyshawn Davis, he's mentioning Devin Haney's name every opportunity he gets, yet he's not doing anything behind the scenes to try to get that fight locked in. And even then, but then again, from what I've heard, Gustavo put out there, Devin Haney's currently in the voluntary defense stage. So once he gets that voluntary defense, they'll most likely order a fight for him, which will be Jack Catterall, after the fact. So we'll see. It's a lot going on with that. And this isn't necessarily me saying that, Keyshawn Davis, oh man, he on some bullshit. But at the same time, it's like I said, it's the mixed signals and the inconsistency in Keyshawn Davis's words that's throwing me off. If you really want that fight, do what's necessary to get that fight done. If I truly wanted to fight Devin Haney and I have a history with the WBO, you already know I'm sending that, what he said, I'm sending that formal ratings request. I'm getting ranked. You see what I'm saying? And I'm doing what I need to do in order to lock that fight in. It's simple. But maybe Keyshawn Davis, maybe he'll do that and see exactly where it leads him. But until then, we don't know. We don't know. Maybe after all this bullshit, he probably gonna stick around at 140 and fight somebody else. You never know with people like Keyshawn Davis. They flip floppy. So it is what it is. Big Soldier MX said Key could have fought Jack Catterall, but he picked Jermaine. Maybe he didn't want to skip a weight class. I don't know. WBO been like that. No skipping lines. Karen ranked. Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. I would like to see Karen and Jack Catterall fight, and the winner be the mandatory for Devin Haney's title. That's what I would like to see. I think that'd be a dope fucking fight. That'd be a hell of a fight. Bozy gonna have to game plan for Karen all over again. And you don't know which Karen you gonna get. Whether you walking forward, letting your hand, being aggressive, or you getting the outboxer Karen, because he showed that he could do both just based off of the two Boots fights alone. Ralph believes that it was him attaching his name to Dev as a marketing tactic. I mean, that's possible. A lot of these dudes do clout chase. I remember Keyshawn Davis said that he was calling out Devin Haney early on in his career when he knew that he wasn't going to fight him no time soon, that he knew that he wasn't ready. What interview was that, bro? He said that he was calling out Devin, but he knew he wasn't ready. He was just doing it just a clout chase. Like, he admitted it. Who's to say that he's not doing that now? I'm going to go find that video. Bro. If y'all seen it, y'all know what I'm talking about. They said Karen is a problem. I agree. And like I said, I think he's going to end up whooping on somebody that people care about. I'm telling you. Tia, he said T.O. was WBO super champ at 140. It's about having a name and title defenses. I guess so. If you're a name, you already got half the job done. That's what it seems like in boxing nowadays. You get a lot of shit done if you got some popularity. Look at Ryan. Ryan keep losing and losing and losing, and they just keep throwing world title shots at him. It's crazy. Left Hook said he did the same thing with Abdullah, then didn't make 135. That's a fact. That's a fact. I seen him end up apologizing to Abdullah too. I thought that was interesting on that. Not necessarily apologizing to Abdullah, but he like, I came at him wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I was out of pocket. Pretty much like I was out of pocket, like I was on some nut shit. So it was, you don't really see Keyshawn hold himself accountable too often, but looked like he did in that situation. So, anyways, we move on, man. Now, this topic that I'm about to be covering is actually a video that I had put out earlier today. You know what I mean? Where I'm just posted up, you know what I mean, by the Delaware River and stuff like that. So if you ain't go see that, go check it out. It's about a 10-minute video. I've seen the videos begin some pretty good responses, so go check it out. And I was talking about Bill Haney's interview with Andre Ward. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm a bit hesitant to play the clip, but I might just play the audio because, YouTube just so weird nowadays, bro. Like, you don't, like, somebody could post something on their YouTube channel and you'll play like a snippet of the interview and like they flagging your shit, copyright, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I'm literally like trying to show the people what's already on YouTube, but for some reason, bro, it's a lot of crazy rules behind copyright infringement and all that. I kind of don't even want to play the audio for real. You know what I mean? Go check out All the Smoke Fight. You know what I'm saying? They did an interview. Andre Ward did an Art of Ward interview with Bill Haney. Go check it out. It's about an hour and some change. And Bill Haney talking his talk on there. He put his promoter hat on in that interview, and it was definitely entertaining. Andre Ward asked good questions. Bill gave good answers. I love that they spoke about fatherhood. That's something that I'm really big on. They spoke about boxing, which is something I'm really big on. So it was a very easy interview to listen to. And Bill Haney got to talking his talk about the people that's on his list. And if you've seen that list, then you will know that Shakur Stevenson is on that list. Now, that's somebody that Andre Ward was managing at one point in time. Somebody that Andre Ward has a close relationship with. So you already know, like, Andre Ward gonna get like a bit defensive about that topic, and you could tell that, he was definitely on the defense when it came to what Bill Haney had to say about Shakur Stevenson. And one of the things that he did say was that Shakur Stevenson was easy work. Not only that, but Bill Haney believes, based off of what he said in this interview, that he feels like fighting Shakur Stevenson would be an easier fight than Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, I've seen that pissed a lot of people off on Twitter, on the YouTube comments. I even saw it on Instagram. But listen, do I agree with him? No, I don't. I actually think that, Shakur Stevenson is a more difficult fight than Vasyl Lomachenko. And the reason why I feel that is because, for one, Shakur Stevenson isn't the easiest to hit. He's not the easiest to hit. On top of that, Shakur Stevenson has phenomenal time, and not only defensively but offensively. He's a hell of a counter puncher. So it's like you can't really afford to make too many mistakes when you're in there with somebody like Shakur, because he's watching. You know what I mean? He's processing all of your little habits, and he's picking you off little by little. And before you know it, he's running them rounds up on you, and there's nothing you can really do about it because you can't capitalize off of him when you're being offensive. So he's making you miss, he's making you pay. You're getting frustrated because you don't understand range like he does. You know what I mean? He knows exactly how far to keep you out. You know what I'm saying? And then when he is in range, he's getting his punches off, and he's getting right back out of range. So very, very frustrating style to deal with. And based off of that alone, I think that he's more of a difficult fight than Vasyl Lomachenko. Vasyl Lomachenko is somebody who, has gotten countered easily. Not easily, but he's got countered quite frequently in fights, especially the Devin Haney one. Devin Haney was countering to his body consistently throughout the fight. Vasyl Lomachenko been busted up in fights before. Like, he gets hit. He's not, Vasyl is a type dude where his offense was his defense, right? So I see where like Bill is coming from. I'm gonna tell you exactly why he thinks the way he thinks, but I think he's just looking at one side of the coin. I feel like Shakur Stevenson is a more difficult fight because he presents more obstacles in terms of hitting him. But the reason why, and that's why I feel like Shakur is the more difficult fight, but the reason why Bill Haney thinks the way that he thinks is because Vasyl Lomachenko historically in fights in comparison to Shakur takes more chances. You see what I'm saying? Because, Loma might take a few rounds to, get started up. But once he warmed up, he in his bag, he starts letting his hands go, and he starts to become a serious problem because he's throwing punches and bunches. He's an accurate puncher, and he has pretty good hand speed. And his timing is hard to pick up based off of his footwork and his angles, right? So I see that right there. He was giving Dev a tough fight towards the end of that fight. And there were some people who actually thought Lomachenko did enough to win. I remember this clear as day. To this day, people say Devin Haney got a gift against Vasyl Lomachenko. So he could be difficult in that way. And when looking at Shakur Stevenson, he's a bit more calculated with his punches. He doesn't get reckless. He's cautious. You know what I'm saying? So you got somebody, Vasil Lomachenko, who would throw caution to the wind and be like, fuck it, and let his hands go. Then you got Shakur Stevenson over on this side where everything he does is calculated. You know what I mean? He's not going to be in a position to get hit with no crazy punches or anything like that. He's going to take his time. You know what I mean? He's going to find his shots. He's going to pick them. And even if he threw 2 punches in that round, if that's more punches than what you threw, he's satisfied with it. So Bill may look at that and feel like that's a more easier fight to go into in comparison to Loma, who's, really putting the pressure, letting the hands go and possibly beating you up. He definitely was getting off on Dev in them later rounds. You see what I'm saying? So that's probably why Bill Haney feels like Shakur is an easier fight. But like I said, I think he's looking at one side of the coin. Like, yeah, Vasil may be, bigger on the pressure and the work rate and shit like that. But Vasil Lomachenko is easier to hit. Shakur Stevenson is just as accurate as Vasil Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? His timing is just as good, but he also gives you that defensive look as well. You see what I'm saying? So it's like he may not throw as many punches as Loma, but the punches he is throwing is counting. And not only that, he's making you miss a lot too. So offensively, is Loma more dangerous? Yes. But all around the board, Shakur Stevenson is the better fighter, in my opinion. He's the more difficult fighter all around the board. So I do disagree with Bill Haney, but maybe he's just saying that to play psychological games. Y'all know Bill like to talk his shit. You see what I'm saying? He like to talk his shit. He like to get in people's head. He like to get people in their feelings because it throws them off of their game. And not everybody could fight with an angry mentality. There's some people who fight sharper as a result of being angry. There's other ones who completely fall off of their game as a result of being angry. And Bill is willing to roll the dice to see what you're made of psychologically. He's a troll. He likes to put on that promoter hat and talk his shit. And I'm all for it as long as it makes these big fights happen and these meaningful fights get made as a result of the trash talk and the promotion and the buildup. I'm all for it. You see what I mean? Now, I did hear what Bill Haney feels like his son could do with Shakur Stevenson, and that's pretty much step to him. He feels like, he feels like Devin Haney, his son, could step to Shakur Stevenson, be the aggressor, walk him down and all of that good stuff. And what gives him confidence in that is in the previous sparring session they had, Devin Haney was the aggressor. And there were moments where Devin Haney was landing some good shots on Shakur to the head and the body. I remember Devin Haney landed a hell of a left hook on Shakur Stevenson, right on the chin. And you don't ever really see Shakur Stevenson get hit that hard. So maybe he's looking at that. And he's like, oh, my son could walk him down. And he was also bringing up the importance of the jab. You know what I'm saying? Well, he brought up the importance of the jab in terms of what Teofimo needs in order to be successful when walking to Shakur. So in his mind, he feels like Devin Haney has one of the best jabs in boxing. He feels like that Devin could pressure Shakur Stevenson, walk him down with the sharp jab, and just be the aggressor throughout the night. I think that is a lot more. That's easier said than done. To be honest with you, but that's just Bill Haney's mentality. He has every right to believe in his son's abilities, and if he feels like his son could beat Shakur and Shakur Stevenson's on the list, then we got to see it. But do I think that fight happens, bro? I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't think it does. I honestly don't think it does. Shakur Stevenson, he's a naturally smaller guy. He wasn't given those, physical attributes that these other guys have gotten. Like, you could tell Richardson Hitchens will be a pretty good size, 147. Devin Haney, he's had the frame necessary where he can move up multiple weight classes and fit into the division quite well. Shakur's small. You know what I mean? Even Keyshawn would be a pretty decent size, welterweight and things of that nature. But Shakur, he's small. Like, I brought this up in the video that I put out earlier. This dude Shakur be eating steak the week of the fight, man. And then if anybody knows how hard steak is to digest and how long it sits in your system and how it's really not ideal to eat for a weight cut, then you would know that just based off of Shakur doing that and still weighing in like 133 pounds, the fight is relative, lightweight is relatively easy for him to make. And to be honest with you, I feel like if Shakur really wanted to, he could get back down to 130. I think he left 130 because he was just growing impatient with that division. He seen all the smoke at lightweight, so he went up there as a result of that. I think he missed weight on purpose just to have an excuse to move up. That's just my opinion. Like, there's no way that you outgrew 130, but then you coming into fights at lightweight 133 and still look like he could have a couple more pounds to lose, didn't look drained, none of that. Really hard for me to believe that. But regardless, I don't think the fight happens. I think Shakur Stevenson is very cautious, not just with, not just in the ring, but also outside of the ring. And I think that there's things that he's willing to challenge himself with, and there's things that he's not willing to challenge himself with. And I think he's one of those guys who feel like weight classes matter. And I think that being at 147 may be a little bit too much for Shakur. And I think he understands that. He doesn't want anybody in there that has a significant size advantage over him, which Devin Haney would. And that's why he's requesting rehydration clauses. Like, I don't want to go up there, but if y'all do want me to go up, if y'all want me to go up there so bad, I need a rehydration clause, because I don't want to have anybody have any crazy advantages over me. You said Corey ain't making 130, dude, 28 years old. Weight don't got nothing to do with the ability to make weight, brother. Let's look at Shakur Stevenson's box rec. Let's look at Shakur Stevenson's box rec. That's all we got to do. When he fought Edwin De Los Santos, bro, he was 133. 133, bro. That wasn't that long ago. Hartunyan, 34. Josh Padley, 34. And he's making the weight comfortably. He's eating whatever he wants. He's eating whatever he wants, man. Go look at those episodes when he got that chef. His plate be full, bro. Go look at what he be eating. Look at bro. On Shakur's channel, it showed him on a plane the day before the T.O. fight. He was eating teriyaki chicken on a stick. He had a big ass plate. He comfortable at this weight. That's what I'm saying. So if you don't have to sacrifice anything to make 135 pounds, then I'm sure that if you sacrifice meals, you can make 130. That's all I'm saying. I've never seen he's very comfortable at 35. I'm sure he make weight probably 2 weeks before the fight. God damn, what's up with Levi, bro? He's super loud. Said, oh yeah, left hook. He just brought up what Ralph said. He said on Shakur's last documentary, he had 2 plates on a PJ on his way to T.O. fight. Thank you. You being 28 years old don't mean that you're just exempt from fighting at 130 pounds. I'm pretty sure if Shakur Stevenson wanted to, if it made all the sense in the world, let's say now you are NUAs at 130 now, and that's a huge fucking fight. I guarantee you Shakur Stevenson will make that fucking weight, bro. And he'll do it easy. He didn't even look sunken in when he was at 130. Go look at how the way he looked on the scales at 130. Let's look at when was the last time he fought at 130? When he fought Kansei Sao. Let's look at Shakur Stevenson on the scale against Kansei Sao when he missed weight. He was 131 and some change, right? Let's see how the way he looked on the scale. He ain't drained at all. No water. He had water in his system and all. Look. He was bullshitting. He just ain't want to be at the weight no more. That's all. You said, remember he was trying to get that Navarrete fight? Yeah. Navarrete ain't want no smoke. No smoke. A lot of niggas duck Shakur, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. Ralph said, I was one of the ones that was saying that I felt Shakur missed weight against Kansei Sao on purpose as an excuse to move to 35. Yeah. I think so too. I mean, we never know. Maybe it just wasn't a good look for him to make the weight anymore. I don't know. But my guess, based off of what I've seen and what he's been, like what he's been showing us, 35 is such a convenience for him that I feel like he could still make 30 if he wanted to. I think it's just a fact. I think it's just a matter of him just feeling more comfortable and not having to worry about, like, kind of like with Floyd at 47. You know what I'm saying? Like, probably Floyd has some muscle, so it probably would have been tough to fight at 140. But 47, he was just comfortable there. Bro, he's walking around 150. How the fuck is 147 a sacrifice? It's not. They have skills. They're more skilled than a 99.9% of the people that's in the fucking division. You can fall back on your skills, focus on your craft, not have to worry about making weight. And you know what I mean? You got the ultimate advantage. Big Soldier MX said Foster for sure calling him out at 135. Yeah, I've been seeing that, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't really like how the way Shakur Stevenson moving with that whole Foster situation. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he act a little funny, like he talking about fighting Oshaki Foster outside the ring. I spoke about this yesterday too. Why is that even something to discuss? Why are you even putting that out there? If it's really smoke, why would you put that out there publicly for one? Because all you're doing is giving Oshaki a heads up. Then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? Like, Shakur, you're a fucking millionaire, bro. I don't know how much money Oshaki Foster got, but you've been getting M's for a long time. Why you feel the need to fight a boxer he's not calling you out for a street fight at all. He's not. He wants to fight you in the ring because he feel like he could beat you, right? You keep trying to throw Raymond Ford on him and all that. Nigga, he not worried about Raymond Ford. Raymond Ford ain't no fucking champion at 130 right now. He wants to go up and face you. He has the WBC at 130. You had the WBC. Well, you had the WBC at 135. He wants to see what's up. What's the big issue? And yeah, he spoke about him, running you out the gym and sparring and shit like that. And that got you riled up enough to say that you want to see him outside of the ring. How about you fight the nigga in the ring and show him that, this ain't what the fuck you think it is. Because you definitely had the capabilities to beat Oshaki, but that's definitely not an easy fight. That Stephen Fulton fight was an eye-opener for me. I'm like, okay, this motherfucker Foster he's pretty fucking good. So I don't know. I don't like it. Like I usually like how Shakur be, moving with certain fights and how he's willing to take, second chances. I mean, not second chance. I like the way that Shakur likes to roll the dice and take chances and stuff like that. But this Oshaki situation, it got a little bit of different energy to it, and I'm trying to figure out why. Because he claims that Oshaki beating him up and sparring and shit like that was cap. But it's like, I don't know. I never really seen Shakur act like this before. Never. I heard him say, and Shakur's sensitive when you talk about his mom. So when Devin Haney brought it up, that's when Shakur talked about, oh, man, you got security, I'll fuck you up, blah, blah. That's the only time I ever really heard him jump out his skin. But like in terms of just like boxing, because I never heard Oshaki disrespect nobody in Shakur family. I've heard him keep it straight boxing. It's something about Oshaki that really gets underneath Shakur's skin. And that's strange because I've never seen a fighter do that before. So in my eyes, I could be wrong. There may be some truth to what Oshaki been saying in terms of those sparring sessions, and that got Shakur in his feelings. Because whenever you hear sparring stories about Shakur, you usually hear Shakur getting the best of this person and that person and this person. But Oshaki like, yo, I ran that nigga out the gym. So it's like, I don't know, man. That's a weird situation. But Bill Haney calling Shakur easy work, insanity. I don't think Shakur easy work for nobody in or around this division. From 35 to 40, I don't think anybody has an easy time with Shakur. But that was Bill Haney being the promoter that he is. You know what I mean? He heating shit up. He's stirring the pot for his son and DHP. Salute to them. Hopefully we can get Bill Haney on here soon. You know what? Let me reach out to Bill, man. I gotta reach out to Bill. and see what time is best for him and get this shit on the road, man. Who knows? I'm gonna try to shoot for Saturday. I'm gonna try to shoot for like early Saturday. Cause I'm gonna be off work. I ain't got my son. You know what I'm saying? So I might let me see if I can shoot for that early Saturday, and then we can go to the studio and do the live fight commentary. Ain't that something? No, absolutely not. Say no. I tried to bring you to it today, but it just ain't work out. My boy Anonymous in the building. He said, I agree. Even if Shakur fans truly think he's unbeatable, you still need the challenging fights to build the resume. Shouldn't be dismissing every possible opponent. Yeah. Like, and I heard Shakur say something like, he said, man, I don't give a fuck about this belt. You can have this belt. Says, what Shakur talk like that? Sure, you said Corey would not get that much credit beating Shaq. He would get more credit than what he did beating William Cepeda. William Cepeda ain't no fucking world champion. Shaq is, though. So you want to give Shakur Stevenson credit for beating the number one contender at 135, but he wouldn't get much credit for beating a legitimate world champion who beat a 2-division world champion? I know how the public is, Ree. I'm not really shooting at you, but no, Shaq beat Shaq. Shaq a credible name. And for motherfuckers who feel like O'Shaquie ain't shit, then you don't know what the fuck you watching. You can't watch that O'Shaquie Foster Stephen Fulton fight and say O'Shaquie ain't nice. You can't watch that O'Shaquie first fight with Robinson Conceição where he got robbed and tell me that he ain't nice. Shit. Shaq could box. He could fucking box. That kid, that motherfucker could fight. And I'm rooting for him. I hope he get that Shakur Stevenson opportunity. It's just so funny how this shit goes. Like Shakur was crying and complaining that niggas wasn't giving him opportunities. I remember he was talking about retiring and all. Y'all remember that shit? When he was on Twitter crying and shit because he can't get nobody to fight him. He was talking about retiring and all that bullshit because everybody was ducking him. Now look at you doing the same shit to the niggas who was in the same spot as you a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the abused becomes the abuser. That's how this should be going for real. Y'all hate, y'all only cry about shit when it happened to you, not when it happened to other people. Y'all become the shit that y'all hate. Fighters turn promoters. Y'all was hating promoters coming up like B-Hop and all. Now look at y'all. Y'all can't keep a fighter in y'all motherfucking stable because y'all crooked. Like y'all become exactly what y'all hate. Bella said, I like Shaq making the offer public and putting pressure. But now Shakur is talking about fighting Ryan at a catchweight. Yeah, and like, who's to say Ryan gonna win that fight against Mario Barrios? Why are you even speaking about that? Like, look at the fights that Shakur is mentioning. Conor fucking Ben, who he wasn't even asking for a rehydration clause for at first. Y'all remember? Remember, he was like Devin Haney, rehydration clause. Conor Ben never mentioned a rehydration clause. He changed his tune now. But this is what he was saying before. And then it was like, yo, I remember somebody asked him, like, yo, why you ask for a rehydration clause for Dev, but not for Conor Ben? He was like, yeah, I did it. So what? What the fuck? Well, niggas is picking in, like, you're that right there just makes me feel like you're not as confident as you come across. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. If you ask this one nigga, yo, for you to fight me, you need to do this. But this other nigga that's in the same weight category, he don't have to do none of that shit that if fighter B don't have to do a fighter A do, that make me feel like you're concerned about your abilities going up against fighter A. Got picks. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to me. And this should apply to anybody. Let's say Boots wake up one day and he be like, oh, that nigga Bachman want to fight me, rehydration clause. I'm like, oh shit, you got picks, Boots? Trying to tell you, let one of these niggas slip. I'm right up, bro. I don't care, bro. Like I don't be biting my tongue for nobody. But Boots don't move like that. And shout out to him. He trying to get an opportunity. Now, I'm gonna tell you, my pop was at Philly's Next Champ like what, 2-3 days ago. It was Monday? Monday or Tuesday. It was one of these. No, it was Monday. Monday, my dad went to Philly's Next Champ where Boots trained at. And one of his pros was getting some sparring over there. So my dad got to talking to Boots or whatever. And Boots said this: "Let's go 787 in the building. Let me know." Boots told my dad, he was like, "Man," he said, "that nigga Xander ain't gonna fight me. You know, if they order the fight, he gonna vacate his belts." Damn! That nigga Boots said Xander's scary, bro. Now, he probably not gonna say that on camera. I'm gonna tell y'all something. The way Boots talks off cam, how he speaks on cam, two totally different bulls, man. Two totally different bulls. If Boots showed y'all who he was outside of the camera, that nigga would be like a household name. I swear to God. He got all the personality in the world. It's crazy that he don't show it. I hope he do soon. I agree, MX. Boots gotta speak up. And that's all my son's life. My dad told me he was speaking to Boots. They was talking about what was going on at 54 and shit like that. Because my dad not really too big on Xander. But that nigga Boots straight up told my pop, he said, "Man, if they order us to fight," he said, "Xander ain't fighting me. He moving up." That lets you know what Boots think about Xander low key. Like, man, this nigga, he not on shit. You know what I mean? Isn't Boost a mandatory for the WBA too? I don't know what the situation is with that. I know that he has the interim title. Now, is the WBA gonna order Boots to fight Xander? I don't know. I don't know what the time frame is on that. Let me see. I'm looking into it for y'all, yo. So it says yes, but not always immediately and not always cleanly. Let's see. Drawn Ennis is the WBA interim. Mm-hmm. What? So based off of what I just read, it really falls on the WBA whether they want to order it or not. That's what it sounds like to me. Go 787 said, "Yo, bro, on Open Talk, react to a video I sent on IG. Xander trolling Ortiz. He's still trolling Virgil. He doing a little bit too much trolling. He better see him." It said Boo should have fought Bachram where there's Aaliyah. Josh Kelly should have never gotten that fight. Hey man, I don't know exactly what happened with that whole situation. But from what I understand, Josh Kelly was like a mandatory. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm sure Boots just wanted to get acclimated to the division, so he fought a top 10 guy. You know what I mean? Wanted to see how he felt. Now he's campaigning at 154, looking to get all the belts. So we'll see what happens. But you know, he's facing Virgil Ortiz, who's being looked at as the number one guy according to the Ring magazine. So let's say, you know, Boots beats Virgil, that's gonna be a statement in the division. And motherfuckers is gonna have to see him because he gonna end up being even though he don't have a world title, you know, he'll be like the biggest name in the division. Not only that, or the hottest name in the division. Not only that, but if he grabs Virgil Ortiz's WBC interim, the WBC gonna have to make a move. The WBA gonna have to make a move because what the fuck we got these interim titles for if they're not gonna put them in position to fight for the legit world titles? But at the end of the day, the WBC says that all of the fighters that have interim titles are happy, you know, fighting for the interim. Who the fuck told you that? Don't nobody give a fuck about no interim titles. Fighters only fight for interim titles because they believe that it sets them up for the actual titles. But now the WBC saying, oh, you know, it takes time. Like, bro, Egypt Cabello, like Chris Manning said, Egypt Cabello got to wait 2-3 years to get an opportunity. What the fuck for all that, bro? We shouldn't even be fighting for no interim belt. That's just another way for y'all to get bread off of us and you know, get bread off of the other champion. Fuck out of here. I ain't fighting for no interim belt. Put me in position to fight for the actual belt. Then I'll pay you a sanctioning fee. Said Eddie Hearn playing games. Definitely a miscalculation, in my opinion. Boots ain't really getting no fucking rounds in with he ain't getting no rounds in with Lima anyway to acclimate or see how he felt in the division. So for all that, he should have just went straight into a banger. He should have just went straight into a good fight. And he would have, man, listen, Boots would have beat the dog shit out of Bachram, man. That'd have been bad. If you had motherfucker Josh Kelly was styling on Bachram, dog. I went back and watched that fight for a few rounds. This dude, Josh Kelly was styling on Bachram. Bachram swinging all these big ass punches, missing all crazy. He getting countered. Like, man, Boots would have hit him with that same shit. He'd have packed fucking Bachram, bro. Ghost said Virgil been interim for like a year or two, and the interim shouldn't it be created if the champ hurt? Oh no, bro. The WBC, they like to do shit in weird ways, bro. De La Soul said if Shakur was bigger, who do you have between him and Boots? Boots. All day. I think Boots is a better fighter than Shakur. Faster, punches harder. You know, Shakur, I think Boots timing, I think he's more athletic, explosive. I don't really see what Shakur does against Boots to really make me feel like he'll shut Boots out. I don't think that shit happens at all. Especially if he playing his feet. He playing his feet with Boots. Boots gonna run that shit up. Nah, not at all. He ain't beating no fucking Boots. Cause Boots gonna make Shakur fight. You know, Shakur not. No. Yeah. When Boots could actually box, he actually got a jab. He not like Tio where he gonna be rushing his punches and falling over his shots. Like niggas not doing. Really Shakur defense OD though. All right, but where the offense gonna be at? Art man, why you keep fucking with these people online, man? I seen that shit with Gary Antoine. That nigga Gary came right at you, dog. You do be talking a lot of shit though. I be seeing why they be getting you always popping some shit. Reese said, I don't ever want to see that fight. I know you don't. That fight will never happen. Boo's too big for him. Yeah. Keep it real. Shakur ain't getting past 47. By the time Shakur get to 47, Boots will probably be at 60. So that should have never happened. So he said, I'm not a friendly nigga. You real friendly with Dev though. You can't say that. If you wasn't a friendly nigga, you be on some fuck everybody type shit. That ain't who you is. You pick and choose who you friendly with. That's my pick. Gary getting stopped. Damn. Wait. Ghost. You feel like Gary Antoine getting stopped by Andy Hiroka? Really? Ain't no way. Yo, if this motherfucker, cause bro, if this nigga Andy Hiroka gets to the US late during fight week, gotta deal with the time difference and all that bullshit. And he get in here and he stopped Gary Antoine. Did Andy touch down in Vegas yet? I don't even know. But if he come if he come over here and he just spark Antoine, ain't no way Gary's still living off Boots win. He don't even bring that shit up, so I ain't even gonna say that. Lorenzo say y'all sleeping on Andy. Word. Nope. So what y'all think then? If I'm sleeping on him, tell me what y'all think. Bella said I'm wide awake. Bella funny as shit. She said I'm wide awake. Gary gonna beat the hell out of him. Dang. Yo, but Bella, you said Brian Norman was gonna beat Dev. Come on, yo. Okay, let's see what Ghost say. Yo, but when I'm asking y'all these questions, don't get defensive like I'm disagreeing with y'all. I want to know why y'all think the way y'all think. That's not me shitting on y'all opinion. I fuck with the nation, bro. Don't get it fucked up. I just want to know what y'all think because y'all could be right. Y'all could be right. Ghost said, bro, I've seen Gary hurt multiple times during his last 3 fights. I think he's gonna get upset by KO. He opens up too much. So you think he gonna get caught in the middle of an exchange, like on some 50-50 exchange, you get clipped? Oh, wait. You say Cool Belly. You said Cool Belly was gonna beat Foster. Hey man. Yo, but to be real, I actually gave you a legit reason though. That nigga Oshaki Foster ain't look good in that second Kansai South fight. He didn't. He did not look good, bro. And y'all act like, and I love how y'all act like Cool Boy or nobody, or he can't rumble. Like Steve Fulton been one of them ones. So let's not get carried away. But Cool Belly is fucking hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. How you gonna lie? Andy also has flaws. He keeps his chin in the air. That was one of the things I noticed. He be pulling straight back too. That's something that's something that Antoine will definitely take advantage of. And to be real, like Hiroka resume kind of dookie. I was looking at that shit the other day. I'm like, nah, bro. This ain't it. Let me see. I was wondering why I was asking the group chat earlier. I said, why this nigga so dark? Like, yo, this is the darkest Japanese nigga I ever seen the whole time he mixed. So I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like, this nigga, I thought he was like Cambodian or something. You know them Cambodians be a little dark and shit. The whole time they say he half Ghanaian. He's from Ghana. Some shit. Damn, this nigga ain't fight since 2024 though. September of 2024. He beat Ismael Barroso, Min Ho Jung. Oh man. No wonder why this. Oh no, he fought in the US before. Damn, I ain't gonna lie, dog. Hiroka resume type ass. That shit shitty. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Oh my God. All right, you beat Jen Sasaki, but he trash. Yo, how the fuck he get this world title shot? What the hell? Y'all believe in this? Man, nah. We ain't doing that. Man, I'm sorry, bro. Ain't nothing he did to show me that he ready for Antoine, bro. Bro, look at this nigga box wreck, bro. Yo, Antoine, you better not let this nigga beat you, bro. Resumes can't fight for you. You absolutely right, Reed, but resumes help you get ready for the high level fights. There's nothing that's one thing. You feel me? Like maybe if Brian Norman would have had a couple more solid names on his resume, he probably would have did better with Dev. If Andy, you say resumes can't fight for you, that's a fact. You feel me? Resumes can't fight for you, but resumes, the people that you have on your resume could dictate how you do in the big fights in your career. Edgar Berlanga's shitty ass resume is why he currently is dealing with what he's dealing with. Getting beat up by Hamza Shiraz in his hometown. Jaime Munguia getting fried like that against Canelo Alvarez because he didn't take the fights necessary to get ready for that big fight. Brian Norman, same situation. Andy Cruz with Mortataya, same situation. Resumes can't fight for you, but if you got if you're applying to be a fucking general manager somewhere, for a fucking sneaker store or whatever, and you got two guys, you got one that has no experience, and then you got somebody who's been a manager at all these different fucking Foot Lockers for years. Who you think they're gonna hire? Who you think is more ready for the job? Who's gonna be more prepared for those situations? A motherfucker who's been there before or actually took the steps necessary to be ready for that moment. You said Verge resume better than Boots. Y'all niggas love gassing up Bohachuk and fucking Madrimov, bro. Y'all love gassing that shit up. That shit is hilarious. You fought Madrimov coming off of a loss, and Bohachuk, nigga, ain't nothing to him. And a lot of niggas thought he lost to Bohachuk. Y'all niggas be gassing shit, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. I love gassing shit. Lubin a good win. Lubin lost to everybody and his fucking mother. What big fights Lubin won? All he do is get his ass whooped. Fuck, like Lubin beat niggas that he was supposed to beat. He beat Jason Rosario. After Jason Rosario got packed, he lost to everybody. Nigga fought Ardell Holmes. Oh my God. Oh shit. Not fucking Ardell Holmes. Mean Machine. After Bud beat him, Maurice Hooker. Oh my God. Not Maurice Hooker. Not after Jose Ramirez beat him. No, not that one. Oh my God. Fucking Maurice Hooker. Oh shit. That nigga under the same protection program all them niggas is on over at Golden Boy Promotions, bro. A lot of niggas thought he lost to Bohachuk. Bohachuk was coming off, what they said, Bohachuk had ammonia or some shit in his lungs. Man, come on, dog. Stop it. Name Boo's best win, it would have to be a Montes Stanionis. And Boost beat Thomas Delorme before Virgil Ortiz. I thought the Sergey Lipinas win wasn't that bad. Lipinas got a Lipinas ain't that bad. Wasn't Lipinas world champion? Wasn't Lipinas world champion? Oh my God, not Maurice Hooker. Oh my God. Niggas thought they ate when they said that. Maurice Hooker. Yeah. Then Maurice Hooker get whooped by Blair Cobbs. Yo, Blair Cobbs be whooping on niggas, bro. Yeah. I mean, Lipinas is too small for Boost. He got picked up, but that wasn't a terrible one. Yeah, bro. Yo, boxer, you've been watching boxing for a little while then. Mikey Garcia versus Lipinas was a fucking banger. Oh my God, I was so hyped watching that fight. That was such a good fight. But anyways, man, I'm not here to shit on anybody's resumes. Virgil, great fighter. Boost, great fighter. Looking forward to that fight. I'm just bidding. Don't take anything that I say personally, y'all. But the Maurice Hooker shit did make me laugh. That was a good chuckle. Everybody thought Lubin was going to beat Virgil, so that was a good win. Shit, not over here. Shit. I told them niggas. I said clear as day. I said, yo, this nigga Lubin stand in front of Virgil, he gonna get chopped the fuck up. What happened? Stood on the ropes in front of Virgil, got chopped the fuck up. Yeah. Sergey Lipinus is the man. I fuck with Sergey. Bro, that fight with him and Mikey was so lit. Yo, I remember when Lipinus beat the dog shit out of Lamont Peterson, bro. I was like, bro, why y'all do that to Lamont? Why y'all do that shit to Lamont, bro? And Lipinus went up to 47 and was doing some shit too. Let me see. Let me look back. It's been a little while. Then he got stopped by Adam Azim. Okay. He went back down to 40. Shit. Eric Bonet. Everybody beat Eric Bonet though. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember when Lipinus was beating up on Omar Figueroa. That's what Omar was cooked though. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, you know what fight was the bid when Omar Figueroa beat up Robert Guerrero? Every time Omar Figueroa hit Robert Guerrero, bro, this nigga head a snap. I was like, bro, what the fuck going on with Robert, bro? That nigga act like he was getting hit with like Superman punches or something. Like getting hit by Clark Kent dead on his chin. He was like falling all dramatic and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Tay in the building, he said they don't mention how Romain Villa beat Speedy, which is Rashidi Ellis, and was beating on Buddy who dropped Brian Norman. You talking about Boca Chica. Lubin need to go to Zuffa. That's fucked up, bro. Yo, speaking of Zuffa, I'm glad y'all brought that up because I want to introduce this last John. Why does nigga Eddie Hearn just draw on Dana White like that, bro? He ain't had to do Dana White like that. Let me go ahead and play this video. He said, Turkey is Dana's daddy. Papa. I was like, what the fuck? All right, y'all know what I'm talking about. Look what Eddie Hearn said. Eddie Hearn good at talking shit, boy. This shit is hilarious. But let's go ahead and hear it.
It's like beating up babies.
Well, that's a sick mind for one. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about there.
I expected more. This is like beating up babies. I feel like I came in and I'm beating up babies.
That's quite.
For Dana to say that, it's like, nigga, what have you done? You signed no top tier fighters right now. You know what I mean? Like you getting bottom of the totem pole type fighters as of right now. The fights you put on so far, I know you just getting started, so we're gonna give you some leeway. But nigga, F.A. Ajagba versus Charles Martin. That's your headliner? Come on, big dog. You can't be talking about Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn done been snapping since he came over to the U.S. and was snapping well before he was on the U.S. That nigga had the UK eating out his motherfucking hands, and you talking like, y'all, you acting like these niggas is light work? Bro, the only reason why Dana White is doing what he doing is because Jai Opatai. Yeah, but the only reason why Jai Opatai went over there by default because nobody could get this motherfucker a fight. Nobody can get this motherfucker a fight. That's what I'm saying. Like, the motherfuckers who have trouble getting fights, like Demetrius Andrade and them, they need to go over there. Stay active. Fight motherfuckers in your weight class. It is what it is. Like, Jai in a situation where he probably ain't got no choice but to go there. Mark Magsayo, he's solid. He's solid. But that's not top tier. Like, that's not top tier to me. Go get you a motherfucking Devin Haney, Shakur. Get one of them. Get one of them. Lock in one of those type names. Jerron Ennis, Virgil, whatever the case is. Then you got my attention. But you don't. So it's like you can't be talking about the big dogs like that. What What Loaded Luck said, you can't throw, what he said, don't throw rocks at the sun because you can't reach it. Your arm's too short to box with God. That's a tight time I'd be on if I'm Eddie. I'm like, yo, Dana, the only reason why you in boxing is because Turkey funding you. When you try to come into, y'all don't even peep. Dana White tried to come to boxing before without Turkey Al-Sheikh money, and he walked away immediately. He was like, oh, no, I can't deal with this. Because them niggas at boxing knew they worth, and Dana wasn't trying to pay these niggas what he was trying to pay boxing niggas what he was paying UFC niggas, and the boxing niggas wasn't going for it. Gary Russell Jr., the Zuffa. Which one? You talking about Antoine or you talking about Mr. Gary Russell? Yeah, you just another lost nigga. Yeah. He said, don't try to throw rocks at the sun. You can't reach it, nigga. Yeah, Loaded Luck's the man. But anyways, let's hear what Eddie guys say.
To get beaten up, baby.
Well, that's a sick mind for one. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about there.
I expected more. This is like beating up babies. I feel like I came in and I'm beating up babies.
That's quite disturbing, if I'm honest with you. Say that I don't have any vision.
I don't think he's come in and ever had any type of vision.
Zuffa's, or whatever it's called. What's her vision?
I don't think anybody looks at Eddie Hearn and says, oh, this guy's a visionary.
What? Getting Max Kellerman to...
Mind you, Eddie Hearn done made some of the biggest fights within the last decade. He talking about you feel like he ain't got vision. He's made some of the biggest fights in the sport in the last decade. The fuck are you talking about, Dana? And I don't even fuck with Eddie Hearn all like that, but you tripping.
Tell everyone that Callum Walsh is the next Roy Jones. Putting Charles Martin on a headline show on a Sunday night in front of 126 people in your garage, in a ring that looks like you've just got it out of a local
garage. Did he try to say garage? Is that what he said? What the fuck is a garage? He got to be saying garage. If that's what he's saying, that's hilarious.
Garage in a ring that looks like you've just got it out of a local club show. I mean, what sort of fucking vision's that? Here's a belt and it's Zuffa. Look at the vision. When you compare Matchroom shows to Zuffa shows, quite frankly, Zuffa shows are absolute complete dog shit. It's in front of 100 people in a garage trying to manipulate fight fans.
You've done nothing. But Eddie Hearn works for his dad. He works for dad.
I do work for...
I don't even understand that. But go ahead. Let's Eddie finish this off. I don't want to interrupt no more.
Do work for my dad. Dana White has worked for his daddy for a long time, the Fertitta brothers. And right now, Dana White's got a new daddy. Turkey Al-Sheikh is Dana White's pappy. He has got to do whatever he's told. It took him a nanosecond to get personal. That's because he's right at the bottom of the pile in terms of quality as a boxing promoter.
God damn, Dana White just got smoked. You can tell Eddie Hearn he definitely rehearsed that shit. God damn, he couldn't wait to say that. God damn, that boy smoked the dog shit out you. Shit.
You embarrassed by this?
Holy shit. I ain't gonna lie. That was fucking hilarious. Very entertaining. Quality response from Eddie Hearn, to be honest with you. It said, don't Eddie Hearn work for his dad? Well, what had happened was Barry Hearn had Matchroom, right? Barry Hearn fell back and let his son take over the business. And took the business to the next level. So it's like, what the fuck? Like, all right, your father passed his business over to you. You maintained the business. Not only did you maintain it, but you brought it to a whole different stratosphere. So what's wrong with that? Dana White saying that as if he ain't got no help, that he doing this shit all off the strength of him. Big Soldier said, I heard Bam going over there. No, I heard that they offered him a deal, but I heard Matchroom matched the deal, so he's sticking with Matchroom. That's what I heard. But we'll see. Maybe Zuffa offering more money. Who knows? But we'll see. And listen, if it's a situation where Zuffa is giving them a deal they can't refuse, or it's something that they're perfectly happy with, sign with Zuffa. But I just don't understand why Dana White trying to flex on motherfuckers as if he the Uno right now. You got a long way to go before you become the Uno. Do you think Barry Hand's still in the mix? I mean, yeah, I'm sure he has some sort of say-so in the business. I'm sure he got his hands somewhere. But yeah, it's an Eddie Hearn ran operation. Like, you know, that the business is definitely on Eddie's back right now. Ryo Zuffa as well. Okay. That's what's up. Mark, you got any fighters with Zuffa? No. Not right now. If it made sense, I wouldn't mind it. Let's not get it fucked up. I wouldn't mind it. The business gotta be right though. If it makes sense, why not? But I'm sure Barry's hand's still in the business, but it just don't sound. Even if that was the case, let's say Eddie did work for his father, which Eddie admitted that he did. Dana, what you doing? What business were you in the UFC, wherever, where you wasn't getting funded by other niggas? Eddie Hearn brought up a great point. When you was in the UFC, you worked for the Fertitta brothers. Now that you're over at Zuffa, you doing whatever Turkey Al-Sheikh say. You know why? Because Turkey the one who putting up the bread. You tried to come into boxing. It was a fucking failure. You ran back to the UFC because you couldn't control boxing the way you controlled MMA. But now you got this big money motherfucker, this Saudi dude, you know, Turkey, helping you financially, and now you're able to step into the sport as a result of that. You really a middleman, to be honest with you. Dana sold UFC too. Well, I'm sure he still has his hand in it, but he probably sold like a percentage or whatever the case is. It said Dana White sold his majority stake in the UFC in 2016 for $4 billion to a group led by WME IMG. While White no longer owns the company, he remained as president and now serves as CEO, continuing to run daily operations while retaining a stake in the company. Sound like he's getting the best of both worlds. He got paid for his majority stake, but he still runs the business. $4 billion. God damn. So Dana got $1 billion? Annually, he makes $20 million a year with the UFC. That's insane. TKO majority owner of UFC, but still got minor ownership. That's what's up. I'm not saying he's a dumb businessman or nothing like that. It's just like, what you mean this shit is like he making it seem like his running boxing is like easy work and he ain't got no competition. Like, bro, you are not in a position to say that. You ain't put in enough work to be saying that, to be honest, but you know, it is what it is. So now we're going to get into the open boxing topics, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. We've been on for a little less than an hour and a half. Thank you very much to everybody that's coming through and showing love. Let me go ahead and pull up that video.
Y sigue siendo un proceso. Que viene otro párrafo por ahí. Cuando ganaste tu primer título, tuvimos una mini conversación. Yo creo que hicimos el ruido porque un clip de eso terminó en Ring Magazine, en todas las.
Man, I don't know what these niggas saying, bro.
Y él respondió directamente a eso.
Well, I understood that.
En su casa, viendo el clip y dándose así contra el teléfono. Qué molesto. Realmente yo me lo disfruto y a cada rato que puedo le tiro una puñita simplemente por vacilar, porque realmente yo sé que lo molesta, yo sé que él se, como decimos aquí en Puerto Rico, se muerde. Realmente es gracioso. Yo lo hago por trolearlo, porque no tengo nada en contra de él. Yo no lo conozco, yo no sé quién es Virgil Ortiz en persona, nunca lo he visto, nunca le he dado la mano, nunca lo he conocido, realmente lo hago ya más por vacilar. Yo sé que es una pelea que se va a dar, yo sé que es una pelea que ambos queremos. Él no tiene miedo a pelear conmigo, al igual que yo tampoco con él. Han habido conversaciones de pelea. Yo pienso que es algo que sí, que se va a dar. Pero no, volvemos a lo mismo.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard him say some shit like, I'm 22 or 23 years old, and I'm a world champion. Virgil Ortiz this old, and he hasn't done anything. So that's all I really understood from that. He said, "You watching Telemundo, ESPN Deportes?" No, that was Xander Zayas' interview, man. But yeah, he clearly don't like Virgil. But something about Xander, he's slowly but surely exposing who he is. Like he was playing like this little quiet, humble role, but now that he like in this power position, now he just want to pop his shit. And look, I ain't mad at it. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I guess you stay down till you come up, right? But Xander seems to be very confident in who he is. He's confident in his abilities. You know what I'm saying? And he's been rising to the occasion, and he is getting better with every fight. Now, how does he mesh up with Virgil Ortiz, bro? I don't know. I don't know if he gonna have to definitely be like on his best behavior boxing wise. Like he's gonna have to, box, use his legs. You know what I mean? I just don't see him sitting there banging with Virgil. I think Virgil too strong. And I don't know if Xander could really take them punches from Virgil, man. You know what I mean? The rips to the body, the headshots. Virgil punches with really bad intentions. So I think Xander, I don't know, he might not be strong enough to deal with him, but if he gets on his bicycle, combinations, turns him, if he comes into phenomenal shape he usually comes in, he could probably do something. Boots, I don't see that shit happening. I really see Boots hacking Xander the fuck up. It's just me, like Boots he's just different. Ghost said Xander gonna outbox Virgil, in my opinion. I feel like that's his only route, to be real. I don't really see him sitting there banging with Virgil. I don't really see him pushing Virgil back. That's just me. Boxer said he ain't scared of Virgil and Virgil ain't scared of him. They never met or shook hands, but he know they gonna fight one day. Interesting. Trix said, if Xander moves up to 160, who would you favor between Jesus, Ramos, and Xander? Xander could probably outbox him. Man. Jesus, you could tell he struggles with boxers a little bit. Beat the shit out of Shane Mosley Jr. though, man. He fucked Shane up. But with that Erickson Lubin fight, even though that may have been controversial, Virgil did it. I mean, Erickson Lubin did expose some holes in Jesus Ramos's game, though, in my opinion. Boxing Wiz said, "Do you fuck with Zoo for boxing?" I don't really know what to make of them yet, man. They still a new idea. They that's a whole new league. They're pretty unique. I think it's gonna take some time. I got to see what moves they make. I got to see what they bring to boxing fans. You know what I'm saying? If they're giving us top quality fights, then I'll be in support of them. It's all dependent upon what they give to the sport. If they give the sport bullshit, if they give us, shitty quality type of fights, then yeah, I won't be in support of them. But if they're able to sign some great talent, you know what I mean? If they're able to put on some great fight shit that's gonna push the boxing culture forward, then I'm all for it. If the fighters are happy with the deals that they're getting from Zuffa and they're not exploiting the fighters or fucking them over, then why? Yeah, I'll be in support of it. I'm pro fighter. I'm really pro fighter. You see what I'm saying? So the fighters are happy and they getting what they want, and they getting the fights that they need to excel in their career. Salute to them. You gotta fuck with Zuffa for that. But the opposite is also true. If they're giving us bullshit fights, the fighters aren't happy with their contracts. You know what I mean? They're expressing their grievances, I guess, with the league. Then that league needs to fucking go. It's really that simple. Yeah, that's definitely something Shane Mosley Jr. got from his pop. That motherfucker got a chin for sure. Yeah, that shit, that his ability to take a shot, that's definitely genetic. Shit. Jesus was cracking, was punching this nigga dead in his shit. He was just keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. He may not have been on, obviously he's not on the level of his father, especially Shane Mosley Sr. in his prime. That he was a fucking animal, especially at lightweight. But I mean, he's looking to make a name in the sport. He taking these fights and win or lose, he continues fighting. So you gotta respect Junior for that. Mosley Jr. Boxing Wiz says, personally, the only thing I don't like about Zuffa Boxing is that they don't let the fighter create their own outfits. It's typically just a Zuffa uniform and the color the fighter wants right now. Dana White is super weird with that. You know what I mean? I feel like fighters not being able to express themselves is kind of fucking weird, or them being limited to how the way they can express themselves is also weird. But we can't be surprised. Dana White did the same shit in the UFC with that Reebok deal. You know what I mean? Took all the sponsorship and endorsement deals away from the fighters just so they could strictly monetize the league, which I think is very greedy. That was a very greedy move. I think that was a very selfish move. And, it is what it is, bro. Like, if you sign with Zuffa, if you know that that's the type of time Zuffa's on and you still sign with them, then there's no use for you in complaining. Super weird, though. It's like, motherfuckers, like, that shit's like prison, bro. Like, I wouldn't be able to be in that type of situation. Like, as a fighter, I want to express myself. I'm the one who's sacrificing my life in here, who's possibly sacrificing my life in the ring. You never know how a fight gonna go. And, I want to wear what the fuck I want to wear, but I'm being limited because this league that I'm fighting for has a say-so on how I wear shit. Tripping. That motherfucker Dana White be keeping his hoes in check, though. That's for sure. Tay said it looked like somebody was punching on Gary Antoine in camp for this fight. For real? But his face beat up? He bruised? Let's take a look. I'll tell you right now. Let's see. I don't really see anything. It says left eye swollen and black. I see it. Listen, man, those sparring sessions get intense. Who I got, Carano or Rousey? Rousey should beat her. Gina wasn't never shit. It was just that she was pretty, and niggas be infatuated with Snow Bunny, so they was on wood. But like, if Ronda Rousey's herself, she getting her judo bag, she should be all right. Rousey did more in the sport. I think, Gina was chilling until she ran into Cyborg. I remember that. I remember watching that shit live. I'm like, yo, that bitch Cyborg looked like a man. What the fuck? The whole time she was on that shit. But yeah, I heard Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey, they fighting on Netflix or something like that. It is what it is. Don't really care too much for that fight. But yeah, I ain't really think too much of Gina. Rousey, I think Rousey was on a good track, but I think she got outside of herself. Like, for some reason, she thought she was like this knockout artist, power puncher, and then when she ran into Holly Holm, she got her dumb ass fried. And that destroyed her confidence. But Gina's confidence got destroyed after Cyborg. So it's like, they both soft, to be honest with you. They both got fragile mentalities, if you ask me, but we'll see. We'll see. If Ronda is herself, you know what I mean, get her judo bag or whatever, probably hip toss Gina, you know what I mean, arm bar, she probably pack her up. I don't know. No, Nunez, no, let's not get it. Junior, you're right. You said Nunez messed her up too. I think that Ronda was already damaged, from a mentality standpoint. Where like she was crying on TV, on shows, talking about how her tooth, Holly Holm knocked her tooth loose, and she was just so traumatized off of that loss. Like she was so, her ego was so inflated at that point that like she really felt invincible. She felt like she couldn't be beat. And then when Holly Holm embarrassed her like that, fucked her up, knocked her out, because he hit her with a leg, hit her with a head kick, ground and pounded her. You feel what I'm saying? I think that's what damaged her psychologically. She was never the same. If y'all peep in the lead up to Ronda Rousey and Amanda Nunes, she refused to do media. She didn't want to do any media. She didn't want to talk to nobody. You feel what I'm saying? And fucking, I think Amanda Nunes just put the cherry on top. She was like, you know what, yo, like I ain't done. I can't take this shit no more. You know what I mean? But Holly Holm really like a fucking goat. Like niggas don't even peep. I gotta do my research, but I think Holly Holm is still the only person to be a world champion in kickboxing, boxing, and MMA. Like that's goat shit right there. Like you don't know many people that do that, male or female. I gotta look into that. Let me see. All right, well, she's not. Somebody by the name. I think only one other person. Yeah, Holly Holm, she goaded. The funniest shit though, when I was talking about this with my homie Steve the other day. Bro, when Amanda packed Ronda Rousey, bro. Oh my god, the commentary had me rolling. And then Ronda Rousey was like knocked out on her feet. She did like a little happy dance. Yo, that shit was the big, bro. Cause I ain't gonna lie. Wait, what? Oh wait, so I don't think Holly Holm was a kickboxing world champion. Let me see. Hmm, whatever. It is what it is. Oh yeah, y'all remember that, bro? You know how they had Ronda Rousey gassed up. Yo, the Ring magazine where Oscar De La Hoya bitch ass owned it, literally had Ronda Rousey on the cover with I think like one MMA glove and one boxing glove. And in her head, she was like a boxer. Like she just became this puncher. Like Ronda, you was like a world class, like you were like a world class athlete, like in judo. But for some reason, I think she knocked like one girl out with punches, and she just like, yo, they had her feelings, and then I mean, they had her like in her bag, like thinking she was really like a puncher, like Mike Tyson or something. So I remember they was bringing up like, oh, she like dissed Floyd and shit like that, and people would really have an argument. Yo, man, like, man, Ronda would beat Floyd in a fight. Nigga, no, she would not, bro. What the fuck? If you put them in the alleyway, first of all, why are you putting them two in the alleyway? They're not fucking street fighters, first of all. But you telling me that if they got into a fight, like on some street shit, that Floyd wouldn't land a punch on her? Who's it? Like, you serious, bro? That's Floyd Mayweather, bro. You telling me that if she got within Floyd range and Floyd ain't had no choice but to punch her, he wouldn't land the punch? And then on top of that, you think she gonna take a punch from a grown ass man? Well, Floyd can't really punch. I bet you he punched really hard when, you know, if it's a fucking girl being hit. The fuck are you talking about, bro? And they all talking about, Floyd can't beat her in the fight. All right, but Holly Holm did. And it was all on the feet too. That's the crazy part. I think Holly Holm like check hooked her or some shit like that. She fell all over the octagon looking stupid as hell. Can't beat a fucking one of the greatest male boxers of all time, but she go ahead and she get beat up by a female boxer. Like, stupid as hell, bro. Man, Holly boxed the shit out of Ronda Lorenzo. That's a fact. I remember that shit. Her stupid ass all over the ring. She running into 1-2s and she ain't had no response because Ronda's not a fucking stand-up fighter. The fuck she know about upper body movement? How she know how to defend a jab? She don't know none of that. Did y'all ever see that video of Ronda Rousey shadow boxing? I was like, man, if you don't get her the fuck up out of here, bro, she dead ass. She was shadow boxing, bro. And she wasn't even like drop her head off the line, none of that shit. She literally, I was like, oh my God. I said, yo, who the fuck told her that? Who told her that that was sharp? And she did that on camera with confidence. The craziest shit to me is when niggas do shit like be loud and wrong. Yo, like y'all be so confident but be dead wrong. Yo, who the fuck told her she could box? Who the fuck taught her how to box? Who taught her how to shadow box? Like, my nigga. She ain't had no real boxing coach for real, bro. I refuse to believe that. There's no way. Like, ain't no way she had a quality boxing coach. And I think her boxing coach was Vanna, RIP to Vanna's Martirosyan. I think it was Vanna's Martirosyan brother. Let me see. Was it Vanchi? Yeah, some sort of thing going on. Who was Ronda Rousey boxing coach? What? His name was Edmund. What's funny is he looked like Vanna's Martirosyan too. But nah. That nigga's trash. Okay, they had the same trainer. Yeah, they had the same trainer. So that's what that was. Ronda Rousey and Vanna had the same trainer. I knew there was something going there. But yeah, nah. You trash, guys. Vanna's was nice though on his come up at 54. He said they just revealed a new Zuffa boxing belt. Okay, let's see it. What the hell? I don't see it. Let's see. Oh, okay. That shit like the old UFC belt. Turkey Al Sheikh. I thought Muslims couldn't shave their beards, but whatever. Y'all let me know if there's any Muslims in the chat. Y'all not supposed to shave y'all beards, right? So what's that about? So Turkey says, today I am happy. I met with my brothers Dana and Nick in Las Vegas, and they gifted me the first Zuffa boxing belt made with beautiful diamonds. This is a huge start for Zuffa, and only the very best will be lucky enough to win this belt. So who's the very best? That's what I want to know. That should look like a fucking like the old UFC title. Bro, I know Pakistani niggas who make better belts than that. I know some niggas in Pakistan right now that can make some belts for my amateur show that look better than this shit. That look like the old UFC belt, almost the same layout. Subtle differences, but nigga, I could order a belt from the WWE right now with my name on it that look better than this. Now let's look at the old UFC belt. The old UFC belt had like a gold face. This one's like a blackish gray face, but it's not too far off. It's like black leather. Yeah, this I ain't gonna lie. I think the old UFC belt better than the new one. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, hold on. Kind of looks like the new one too. You know what? Whatever. They got that belt from DH Gate, and the DH stand for dickhead. It's like, no, let me stop playing. No, that shit trash. I ain't gonna lie. Our belts had pivot better than them belts. I ain't gonna lie. There's no reason why amateur belts should look better than y'all belts, man. Let me see. Let me see. Did I delete them photos? I ain't gonna lie, dog. Like, our pivot belt's up there with y'all's, man. That black and yellow, nigga, yeah. We up there with y'all, man. You know, it is what it is, right? They gonna do what they want to do. But yo, no, real shit though. no, I said shit poop. Hey yo. Shit poop. Yo, all jokes aside though. No, I'm stuck on this subject right here because I know a lot of like Muslims, right? Train with a lot of them. I'm pretty sure it's forbidden in Islam to shave your beard. I'm pretty sure, like So why did Turkey shave his whole face? Was that like, what was that about? Come on, dog. Well, Jay, I think they can't trim it. I don't think they could trim it. Shaping it up and trimming not the same thing. At least I don't think so. But from what I just read, it depends on who your scholars are, basically. They said many modern scholars also allow trimming or even shaving in certain circumstances. The Prophet Muhammad did say, trim the mustache and let the beard grow. I don't know, man. Some weird shit going on, man. But anyways, any last questions before I get up out of here, y'all? Shout out to the 24 people that was in the building. We had some good viewership today, too, so thank you very much for y'all support. Let me see where the subs is at right now, because we hit a stride. We was definitely okay. Yeah. We definitely hit a stride. That's what's up. But yeah, that's the Zuffa belt for y'all, man. They said, I guess these spots right here are diamonds, or beautiful diamonds, according to, Turkey Al-Sheikh. Yo, and I just want to say this. Like, if y'all still calling this nigga His Excellency, you was a nut-ass nigga, bro. I was calling him that, and I never really thought about it. Then I thought about it, like, bro, I ain't calling this nigga that. The fuck? Kiss ass niggas, man. But any last questions before we get up out of here? Yo, that J Cash wilding for that. No, Turkey, they pop though, man. Turkey, they daddy. Ain't shit excellent about Turkey except the checks he dish out. Facts. Oh, man. But all right, y'all, I'm going to get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love as always. Y'all can go ahead and hit the like button on the way out. That'll be very much appreciated. You see what I'm saying? Like the video, share the video as always. I'll be back at y'all with another live 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow to continue cooking up on what's going on in the boxing world. Until then, hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.